Hey guys, MTG Noob here, and I am bringing you a standard deck tech with the blue-white tempo deck, the Adam Prozac, Todd Anderson style deck. So this is the Todd versus BBD list exactly, except I had a sideboard change. So let's go through the mana base. You're playing 24 lands, 2 caverns to fight through counters, 4 of each of the duels, 4 plains, 8 islands, and 2 moorland haunt. He's not playing any of the Guildgate because coming into play tapped is too much of a liability, I would assume. Then your creature base, 4 Snapcasters, 4 Augurs, 4 Restoration Angels. These guys are very good at what they do because they all have come into play effects. This protects your guys a lot and rebuys them, which is really important. Then you have your big over-the-top card, which is the Runechanter's Pike. 2 of these, if you are not familiar with what they do, they basically win the game. They usually are attached to this or Moorland Haunt Spirit token, and they fly over Thragtusk, so they can end the game out of nowhere. Then you have a lot of card draw. You have 4 Thought Scours, 4 Azorius Charms. Obviously, this has other modes. 2 Think Twice, okay, and then you have a bunch of counter magic and bounce. So 4 Unsummons for bounce, 4 Azorius Charms for bounce. Since it has other modes, its last mode is obviously the lifelink, which sometimes is relevant because when you have a giant pike on something, it just puts the game out of reach. And then you have 3 Essence Scatter, which with Cavern of Souls being a thing, maybe one too many in my opinion, but I have to figure that out. 2 Dissipate is just kind of a catch-all, and a Rewind as more of a catch-all, plus you get to untap, and some neat things you can do is like Rewind and then Still Angel since you're untapping 4 mana, and finally 2 Syncopate. Alright, in the board, basically the big change I made was he had 3 Fettergeist, but I felt with only 12 creatures, that was not great. Plus, if you can't counter this, it's really hard to deal with it if you don't have an Augur, which just blocks this and you take 4 or this. You only have 12 creatures, so trading profitably against Geist that lands is not really strong, but I could be wrong. I'd rather have Geist to bring in than sit there and just try to fight it. That's just my play style because I'm not that great with the deck, so I'd rather just have a stone cold counter for it in hand, and it helps you race if you're playing the mirror, and you can bring it in on your side with a Cavern of Souls. Okay, so Faith Shield just mises against the aggro decks occasionally. When they get you low enough, you can just blow them out. You can also Snapcaster and Faith Shield to rebuy it. Purify the Grave against Reanimators. I'm tempted to bring them in against Rancor decks and the Mirror, but I haven't really had too much experience with how good the card is, so that's something I'm going to be looking out for. Dispel, that just fights other counter spells. Negate as a hard counter. A second Rewind as a hard counter. 3 Detention Spheres. This is mainly to get rid of tokens and opposing Runechanter's Spikes. And 2 Supreme Verdicts. So going into it, the things I'm looking at is maybe a third one of these, and I'm also looking at maybe taking one of these out for a Sphinx's Revelation, maybe both, or maybe cutting an Essence Scatter. Okay, so this has been the Deck Tech. Thanks for watching. Please check out the mtgnoob.com. I'm going to bring you some matches now.